On a quiet Saturday morning in June 1959, Dr. James Shepherd stood on the steps of North Carolina College for Negroes and looked down Pettigrew Street. The sound of jazz drifted from the Biltmore Hotel 3 blocks away. The smell of barbecue and fresh bread came from black-owned restaurants lining both sides of the street. Men in pressed suits walked to their offices in the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Building, the tallest black-owned structure in the American South. Women in elegant dresses window shopped at boutiques their neighbors owned. Dr. Shepherd watched all of this and smiled. He had built this college from nothing 40 years earlier when white America said black people didn't deserve higher education. Now his campus sat at the heart of what newspapers were calling the Black Wall Street of the South. Hayti District in Durham, North Carolina. Over 150 black-owned businesses, 5 black-owned banks, 2 hospitals serving the black community, 7 hotels where black travelers could stay with dignity, while Jim Crow laws banned them from white establishments. 12 millionaires, all black, all self-made, all thriving in a neighborhood that had been empty farmland just 60 years before. What Dr. Shepherd didn't know that morning was that powerful men in government offices had already decided to destroy everything he was looking at. Within 10 years, every single building on Pettigrew Street would be demolished. Every black millionaire would be dead bankrupt or driven out of Durham. Every family would be displaced. 5,000 black residents would lose their homes. 200 businesses would close forever, and the government would call it progress. They would call it urban renewal. They would call it modernization. The black community had a different name for it. They called it Negro Removal, and they were right. Because what happened to Hayti District between 1959 and 1975 wasn't urban renewal. It was systematic theft. It was economic genocide. It was the deliberate destruction of black wealth by government policy, backed by federal money, and enforced by bulldozers and court orders. This is the story they buried under Interstate 85 and the Durham Freeway. This is the history they erased from textbooks for 60 years. This is your stolen inheritance. And today, you're going to learn the truth about how America destroyed the second Black Wall Street and why it matters right now in 2026. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much wealth was stolen from the black community in Durham. You'll know the names of the white officials who orchestrated the theft. You'll know which institutions profited from stolen black property. You'll understand why Durham's black community went from owning 40% of downtown real estate in 1950 to less than 2% by 1975. And you'll see how this connects directly to the wealth gap, gentrification, and systemic racism you're experiencing right this moment. This isn't ancient history. If your grandparents lived in Durham in the 1960s, urban renewal destroyed their wealth. If you've ever wondered why your family rents instead of owns, why black neighborhoods have no businesses, why the wealth gap between black and white families is so massive, this is your answer. Your ancestors built an empire. The government bulldozed it, and they lied about it for 60 years. But before we get into how they destroyed Haiti, you need to understand what Haiti actually was. Because the story you were told, the story that black neighborhoods in the 1950s were slums and ghettos, that's a lie. Hayti District was one of the most prosperous black communities in American history. And it was built by people who had every reason to fail, but refused to accept failure. Let's go back to 1865. The Civil War just ended. 4 million formerly enslaved black people are free, but own nothing. Most can't read. Most have no money. Most have never been allowed to own property or run a business. White America expects them to fail. White America wants them to fail. Laws are already being written to make sure they fail. Black codes, vagrancy laws, sharecropping systems designed to be slavery by another name. But in Durham, North Carolina, something different happens. A small group of formerly enslaved people and free black people decide to build their own community. They choose a plot of land east of the railroad tracks, land white people don't want because it's swampy and undeveloped. They name it Hayti, after Haiti, the first black republic that defeated slavery and won independence from France. The name itself is a declaration. We will be free. We will be independent. We will build our own nation within this nation that doesn't want us. At first, it's just a few families. They work in Durham's tobacco factories. Washington Duke and his son James Buchanan Duke are building an empire processing and selling tobacco. They need workers. Black workers are cheap labor. So black people take those jobs, brutal jobs in hot factories with tobacco dust filling their lungs, but jobs that pay cash money. And those black workers do something white employers don't expect. They save. They pool their money. They buy the swampy land nobody wants. They drain it. They clear it. They build houses with their own hands. By 1900, Hayti has 2,000 residents. It has its own post office, its own shops, its own churches, and it has something else, something that will change everything. It has John Merrick. John Merrick was born enslaved in 1859. He learned to cut hair. After emancipation, he opened a barbershop for white customers in downtown Durham. He saved every penny. He invested in real estate. He bought buildings. And in 1898, he did something audacious. He co-founded the North Carolina Mutual and Provident Association, an insurance company specifically for black people. You have to understand what this meant. White insurance companies in 1898 either refused to insure black people at all or charged them triple the rates they charged white customers. Black families had no way to protect themselves financially. If the father died, the family was destitute. If a business burned down, the owner lost everything. Insurance was the foundation of financial security, and black people were locked out of it. John Merrick, along with Dr. Aaron McDuffie Moore and Charles Clinton Spaulding, created North Carolina Mutual to solve this problem. They started with almost no capital. They sold policies door to door in Haiti and across North Carolina. They reinvested every dollar of profit. They hired black agents, black clerks, black managers. They proved that black people could run a sophisticated financial institution as well as any white company. And they didn't just succeed, they dominated. By 1920, North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company was the largest black-owned business in America. By 1950, it had $40 million in assets. In today's money, that's over $500 million. The company employed over 1,000 people, almost all black, in professional careers. Actuaries, accountants, salespeople, managers. These were middle-class jobs, white-collar jobs, jobs that white America said black people were too inferior to perform. The company built a 6-story headquarters on Parish Street in the heart of Haiti. That building became a symbol. When black people across the South saw that building, they saw proof that white supremacy was a lie. They saw proof that black people could compete, could excel, could build wealth and power. But North Carolina Mutual wasn't alone. In 1908, another group of black entrepreneurs founded Mechanics and Farmers Bank, a black-owned bank. Think about what that meant in Jim Crow, North Carolina. White banks wouldn't give black people loans to buy homes or start businesses. Even black people with money, with collateral, with perfect credit were turned away. White bankers said black people were too risky, too unreliable, too inferior. Mechanics and Farmers Bank changed that. It gave loans to black families to buy homes in Haiti. It gave loans to black entrepreneurs to open stores, restaurants, barbershops, construction companies. It provided mortgages that let black families own property instead of renting. And it survived. When the Great Depression destroyed thousands of banks across America in the 1930s, Mechanics and Farmers Bank stayed open. It stayed solvent. It kept serving the black community when white banks were collapsing. By 1950, Mechanics and Farmers Bank had $2 million in capital and served over 10,000 customers, all black. It was proof that the black community could sustain its own financial institutions without white approval or white capital. And the wealth kept building. The Biltmore Hotel opened on Pettigrew Street, a beautiful multi-story hotel that hosted black travelers from across America. You have to remember, this is the era of the Green Book, the guide, that told black travelers which hotels and restaurants would serve them because most places wouldn't. The Biltmore became famous. Jazz legends performed there. Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Count Basie. When they toured the South, they stayed at the Biltmore because white hotels refused them. The Biltmore was owned by Nathaniel White, a black millionaire who also owned real estate across Durham. The Royal Ice Cream Parlor became a gathering place for young people and families. It was more than an ice cream shop. It was a symbol of black dignity and ownership. In 1957, it became historic for another reason. A group of black students, many from North Carolina College, staged a sit-in there to protest segregation. This was 2 years before the more famous Greensboro sit-ins. The Royal Ice Cream Parlor sit-in was one of the first organized sit-ins of the civil rights movement, but you never learned about it in school. That's not an accident. And then there was a North Carolina College for Negroes, founded in 1910 by Dr. James Shepherd. Creating a college for black students in the Jim Crow South was an act of defiance. White officials didn't want educated black people. Educated black people asked questions. Educated black people demanded rights. Educated black people competed for professional jobs. So most southern states provided almost no higher education for black residents. Dr. Shepherd built his college anyway. At first, it was a private religious school with almost no funding. But Dr. Shepherd was relentless. He traveled across North Carolina, raising money from black churches, black teachers, black barbers, black washerwomen, anyone who could spare a few dollars. He convinced the state to provide some funding. In 1923, North Carolina College for Negroes became the first state-supported liberal arts college for black students in the United States. By 1950, over 1,000 students attended the college. It trained teachers who educated black children across North Carolina. It trained doctors who served black patients when white hospitals turned them away. It trained lawyers who fought Jim Crow laws in court. It created a black professional class, and it sat right in the middle of Hayti District, surrounded by black businesses, black wealth, black pride. So let's be very clear about what Haiti was by 1950. This was not a slum. This was not a ghetto. This was not a blighted neighborhood. Hayti District had over 150 black-owned businesses, 5 banks, 2 hospitals that served the black community, 7 hotels, multiple churches, a college, restaurants, barbershops, construction companies, insurance companies, law offices, medical practices, funeral homes, grocery stores, clothing boutiques, drugstores, nightclubs, a movie theater. 40% of the real estate in downtown Durham was owned by black people. Think about that. In the Jim Crow South in 1950, black people owned 40% of the real estate in a major city's downtown. The home ownership rate among black families in Haiti was 65%. Most families owned their homes. They weren't renters. They were property owners building generational wealth. The average income for black families in Durham was the highest in the entire South. There were 12 black millionaires in Durham in 1950 if you adjust for inflation to today's dollars. 12. These were people who had built wealth despite every law, every policy, every act of terrorism designed to keep them poor. They succeeded anyway. They thrived anyway. They built an economic empire anyway. Hayti District was called the Black Wall Street of the South for a reason. It was real. It was thriving. It was proof that black people didn't need white approval or white charity. Give black people the opportunity to own property and run businesses, and they would build wealth just like anyone else. Haiti proved that poverty in the black community wasn't caused by inferiority or lack of ability. It was caused by white supremacy blocking opportunity. And that's exactly why powerful white people in Durham decided to destroy it. Now here's where the story gets dark. Here's where you see the system reveal itself. Because what happened next wasn't random violence like the Tulsa Race Massacre or the Rosewood Massacre, where white mobs just attacked and burned black neighborhoods. What happened to Haiti was worse in some ways. It was legal. It was planned. It was funded by your tax dollars. It was done by men in suits using laws and policies and court orders. And they smiled while they did it because they called it progress. The weapon they used was called urban renewal. And to understand how it worked, you need to understand what was happening in America in the 1950s. After World War II, white families were moving out of cities and into suburbs. The government helped them do this. The Federal Housing Administration gave low-interest loans to white families to buy homes in new suburban developments. Black families were excluded from these loans. Banks wouldn't lend to black people. Realtors wouldn't sell to black people. Suburban neighborhoods had racial covenants that legally banned black residents. So while white families were building wealth in the suburbs, black families were trapped in cities. But here's the thing. Many black urban neighborhoods like Haiti weren't declining. They were thriving. Black people owned property. Black businesses were growing. Black communities were building wealth in cities, even as white people were leaving. And white politicians saw this as a problem. In 1949, Congress passed the Housing Act. It gave federal money to cities for something called urban renewal. The stated purpose was to clear slums and build better housing. Cities could declare a neighborhood blighted, seize the property using eminent domain, demolish the buildings, and redevelop the land. The federal government would pay for most of it. It sounded good on paper. But in practice, urban renewal became a tool to destroy thriving black neighborhoods and transfer the land to white developers, white institutions, and white businesses. The black community immediately recognized what it was. They called it Negro Removal. And that's exactly what it was. Between 1949 and 1973, over 1,000 black neighborhoods were destroyed by urban renewal across America. Over 1 million black families were forcibly displaced. Over $500 billion in black wealth was stolen in today's money. This was systematic. This was coordinated. This was genocide of black economic power, and it was legal. Durham jumped on the urban renewal program fast. In 1954, the Durham City Council passed something called the Durham Comprehensive Plan. The plan said Durham needed to modernize. It needed better roads. It needed to remove outdated neighborhoods. It needed to clear blighted areas and attract new development. And which neighborhood did they target? Hayti, the most prosperous black neighborhood in North Carolina. The neighborhood with a college, multiple banks, hundreds of businesses, thousands of homeowners. That neighborhood was declared blighted. Now you need to understand how absurd this was. 85% of homes in Hayti were owner-occupied and well-maintained. These weren't shacks. These weren't falling-down buildings. These were brick homes, well-kept properties, thriving businesses. By any objective measure, Hayti wasn't blighted, but the city said it was, and under urban renewal laws, the city's designation was final. Property owners couldn't appeal. Courts rubber-stamped the decision. The architect of Durham's urban renewal program was a man named Wens Grabarek. He was Durham's city manager from 1949 to 1974. Wens Grabarek publicly stated that Hayti was blighted and had to be cleared for progress. He said the neighborhood was holding Durham back. He said urban renewal would help everyone, including black residents who would get better housing. But here's what Wens Grabarek didn't say publicly. He didn't say that the real reason for targeting Hayti was that the land was valuable. Hayti sat right between downtown Durham and the growing suburbs. It was prime real estate. If the city could remove the black residents and black businesses, that land could be used for highways, government buildings, and development that would generate more tax revenue. Development that would be owned by white people. In 1958, Durham created the Durham Redevelopment Commission. This commission had the power to declare areas blighted seized property using eminent domain and manage the urban renewal process. Every single member of the commission was white. Not one black person was appointed to help decide the fate of black neighborhoods. Not one. The commission identified 150 acres of Hayti as blighted and slated for demolition. They sent letters to over 300 black families. The letters said, "Your property will be acquired." That's the word they used. Acquired. Not stolen, not seized, acquired. As if it was a voluntary transaction. The city offered to buy properties at prices they determined. And those prices were a joke. Homes worth $15,000, they offered $5,000. Businesses worth $50,000, they offered $20,000. The appraisers were all white. The appraisal firms were all hired by the city. And somehow, every single property in Hayti was valued at 40 to 60% below market rate. If you refused to sell, the city took you to court. They used eminent domain, the legal power for government to seize private property for public use. The Fifth Amendment says the government has to pay just compensation. But who decides what's just? The government does. The courts sided with the city every single time. Durham County Superior Court approved 100% of eminent domain cases between 1958 and 1970. 100%. The average hearing lasted 15 minutes. Black homeowners would testify that their property was worth more. White appraisers would say it wasn't. The judge would side with the appraiser. Case closed. If you still refused to leave after the court order, the sheriff would come. You would be forcibly evicted. Your belongings would be put on the street. And then the bulldozers would come. But the demolition didn't start with homes. It started with something bigger. In 1960, construction began on Interstate 85, a major federal highway connecting the East Coast. The original plan for I-85 had the highway running west of Durham through mostly empty land. It would have been cheaper. It would have displaced fewer people. Engineers presented this route to city officials. But city officials changed the route. They moved it east. They routed Interstate 85 directly through the heart of Hayti District. And they did this deliberately. Why? Because routing the highway through Hayti would accomplish multiple goals. It would cut the black community in half. It would force the demolition of hundreds of black-owned homes and businesses. It would make the land too noisy and undesirable for the remaining black residents, pressuring them to sell cheap and leave. And it would create justification for further urban renewal, since the area around a highway could be called blighted. Internal documents from Durham city government, not declassified until the 1990s, show that officials discussed this strategy in private meetings. One memo from 1959 said, and I'm quoting, "Hayti route chosen specifically because Negro property owners have limited political influence." They wrote that down. They said the quiet part out loud in their private documents. The Interstate destroyed 300 homes in Hayti. 40 businesses on Pettigrew Street, the main commercial corridor, were demolished. Families were paid $3,000 to $8,000 per home. That's it. The average value of those homes was $15,000 to $30,000. The city paid a fraction of what they were worth, and families had no choice but to accept it. And here's the sick irony. At the exact same time I-85 was being routed through Hayti, the highway carefully avoided Hope Valley, a wealthy white neighborhood in western Durham. The interstate could have gone through Hope Valley. It would have been a straighter route. But Hope Valley residents had money and political power. They organized. They hired lawyers. They lobbied city officials. And the highway was routed away from their neighborhood. Black residents in Hayti organized too. They protested. They wrote letters. They attended city council meetings. They begged officials to spare their community. And they were ignored. Because as that internal memo said, Negro property owners have limited political influence. The message was clear. White neighborhoods would be protected. Black neighborhoods would be sacrificed. Wealth and power determined who got displaced, and black people in 1960 Durham had neither. The destruction of Hayti didn't happen all at once. It was methodical. It was systematic. It took 15 years to complete the theft. And every step of the way, officials called it progress. After Interstate 85 cut through Hayti in the early 1960s, the city moved to Phase 2. In 1963, construction began on the Durham Freeway, also known as Highway 147. The stated purpose was to connect Interstate 85 to Research Triangle Park, the new technology and research center being built between Durham, Raleigh, and Chapel Hill. But just like with I-85, the route for the Durham Freeway was chosen to maximize damage to the black community. The freeway was routed through what remained of Hayti after I-85. It destroyed what the first highway hadn't touched. And this is where you see the institutions that benefited from the theft. Because the Durham Freeway didn't just destroy homes. It destroyed the symbolic heart of black economic power in Durham. In 1965, the Biltmore Hotel was demolished. This wasn't some rundown building. This was a beautiful multi-story hotel that had hosted jazz legends, civil rights leaders, and black travelers for decades. It was owned by Nathaniel White, one of the 12 black millionaires in Durham. The city seized it using eminent domain. They paid him $50,000. The property was worth over $200,000. After demolition, the land sat empty for 2 years. Then, in 1967, the city sold it to Duke University for $15,000. $15,000. They seized it from a black millionaire for $50,000, then sold it to Duke, one of the richest universities in America, for $15,000. Duke used the land to expand its medical center. Duke University, by the way, was founded by the Duke family, the same family that built a tobacco empire using cheap black labor. The same family that became billionaires while paying black workers poverty wages. And now, Duke was benefiting directly from the theft of black-owned property in Haiti. The Royal Ice Cream Parlor, the site of one of the first sit-ins of the civil rights movement, was demolished in 1964. The owner, a man named J.R. Hawkins, was told his building was in the path of the Durham Freeway. He was given no compensation, $0. The city used eminent domain and said the land was needed for public good. Public good. They demolished a historic site of black resistance and paid the owner nothing. The North Carolina Mutual headquarters, that 6-story symbol of black economic power, wasn't demolished. But in 1966, the company was forced to relocate. City officials said the building was too close to the freeway and the noise would be disruptive. So North Carolina Mutual, the largest black-owned insurance company in America, had to spend $500,000 of its own money to move to a new location. But here's the real damage. The original location was in the heart of Haiti, surrounded by black customers, black businesses, black community. The new location was on the edge of downtown, isolated. Foot traffic disappeared. Walk-in customers declined. The company lost its central position in the black community. This wasn't about noise. This was about disrupting black economic networks. Between 1960 and 1968, over 1,000 homes in Haiti were demolished. Over 5,000 black residents were forcibly displaced. Over 200 black-owned businesses closed permanently. And the total value of property seized over $100 million in 1960s money. In today's dollars, adjusting for inflation, that's over $1 billion in black wealth stolen from a single neighborhood. $1 billion. Think about what that means for generational wealth. If those families had kept their properties, if those businesses had stayed open, if that wealth had been passed down to children and grandchildren, the black community in Durham would be wealthy today. But that didn't happen because the government took it. Now let me show you what they did with the land after they stole it. Because this is where you see the theft wasn't just about highways. Highways were the excuse. The real goal was transferring valuable land from black ownership to white ownership. After demolishing Haiti, the city had hundreds of acres of prime real estate in the middle of Durham. And who got that land? Duke University Medical Center bought 200 acres of former Haiti land. They paid the city $20,000 per acre. The market value of that land was $80,000 per acre. Duke got a sweetheart deal. They paid $12 million under market value. That's $12 million in profit for Duke, a supposedly nonprofit institution built on stolen black land. Today, that property is worth over $800 million. Durham County built a new courthouse and government offices on the site where the Biltmore Hotel once stood. Not a single black person owned any part of the development. The government built government buildings on land stolen from the black community. The remaining land in Haiti was sold to white developers who built commercial centers, office buildings, and parking lots. None of it was black-owned. By 1975, Hayti District as a black economic community no longer existed. The name was still on some maps, but the reality was gone. The population of black residents in central Durham dropped by 15% between 1960 and 1975. Where did they go? They were scattered. Some moved to public housing projects the city built on the outskirts of town. Some moved to cheap apartments in other parts of Durham. Some left Durham entirely. The community was destroyed. The economic networks were broken. The generational wealth was stolen. And here's the statistic that shows you the true impact. In 1950, black people in Durham owned 45% of their homes. By 1975, that number dropped to 18%. In 25 years, the black home ownership rate in Durham was cut in half. That's not economic decline. That's not market forces. That's theft. The 12 black millionaires who lived in Haiti in 1950, by 1975, not a single one remained in Durham. Some died, some went bankrupt, some moved away. Their wealth was destroyed or seized or taxed away. Zero remained. Now I need you to understand something crucial. What happened in Durham wasn't unique. This wasn't one racist city doing one terrible thing. This was national policy. This was happening in over 1,000 cities across America at the exact same time. Let me show you the pattern, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you understand the system, you'll recognize it everywhere. Every major city in America had a Haiti. Some called them Rondo, Overtown, Sweet Auburn, Black Bottom. Every single one followed the same pattern. A thriving black community builds wealth. Businesses, churches, families owning homes, children going to college. Then the city calls it a slum, declares it blighted, accepts federal funding for urban renewal, builds a highway, destroys the neighborhood, disperses the people, transfers the land. It happened again and again for 30 years. You're about to see exactly how systematic it was. Let's start in St. Paul, Minnesota, 1,000 miles from Durham, but the same story. The Rondo neighborhood was the heart of black life in that city. By 1950, 85% of the residents owned their homes. 300 black-owned businesses lined Rondo Avenue. Restaurants, record stores, barbershops, clubs where jazz filled the night. Rondo thrived. The homecoming parade every summer drew thousands. Kids waved flags. Elders sat in chairs along the street. Families felt safe. In 1956, the city announced plans for Interstate 94. Planners had two options. One route went north through mostly empty industrial land. Cheaper, fewer homes destroyed. The other route went straight through Rondo. They called the northern route inefficient. They said the center route would bring progress. In truth, the northern route passed through white areas. The center route passed through black ones. You already know which one they chose. Construction began in 1959. By 1968, 700 homes were gone. 300 businesses were gone. 40 blocks erased. Rondo Avenue itself vanished from city maps. Residents were paid pennies for property. Families scattered. By the time the highway opened, the black heart of St. Paul was buried under concrete. They called it freedom of movement. Rondo called it a funeral. Decades later, the survivors started to speak. In 2023, Minnesota's legislature approved $1 billion toward reparations for Rondo descendants. The state admitted the highway was a racial injustice. One community finally got acknowledgement. Thousands more are still waiting. Let's jump south to Florida. Overtown, Miami. In the 1940s, they called it the Harlem of the South. 40,000 black residents, over 1,000 local businesses. The Lyric Theater and Mary Elizabeth Hotel hosted Billie Holiday Count, Basie Nat King Cole, churches, schools, corner stores, a neighborhood of joy and self-reliance. Then came Interstate 95, the same story. The state promised modernization. In 1965, bulldozers rolled in. The route cut right through Overtown, the most prosperous square mile of Black Miami. Hundreds of blocks cleared, 10,000 residents displaced, buildings condemned for slum clearance, even when they passed inspection. By 1980, fewer than 100 businesses remain. Today, Overtown has Miami's highest poverty rate. Median income $15,000 a year. The wealth that once was Overtown now sits on the other side of that interstate in gleaming towers of white wealth. Atlanta next. Sweet Auburn Avenue. Forbes once called it the richest Negro street in the world. 120 black-owned businesses. Citizens Trust Bank. Atlanta Life Insurance Company. Clubs, restaurants, churches. It was the cradle of the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr. himself grew up right off that street. In 1956, plans for the I-75 and I-85 connector came. The downtown connector, they called it. The route sliced straight through Sweet Auburn. By the mid-1960s, 40% of the neighborhood was gone. 67 black businesses demolished. The population dropped 80%. When you visit the King Historic District today, look around. Highways circle it on both sides. The government memorialized the man while paving over the community that raised him. Moved north again to Detroit. Black Bottom and Paradise Valley. They were the beating heart of Black Detroit. In the 1940s, 350 black-owned businesses, 20,000 residents, jazz clubs where Motown was born, homeownership 60%. Then in 1950, the bulldozers came for I-75, the Chrysler Freeway. Official reason remove slums. Real reason make way for luxury white housing. By 1960, Black Bottom was dust. 130,000 residents displaced. Their land became Lafayette Park, a white residential district still standing today. Do you see the pattern? Every time black people built wealth, they destroyed it. Every time black communities rose, highways fell on top of them. It wasn't random. It was national policy, federal money, local execution, government engineers with blueprints instead of torches, bulldozers instead of mobs. Same goal: remove black power from valuable land and call it progress. Between 1949 and 1973, over 1,000 black neighborhoods were erased. Over 1 million black families displaced. Over $500 billion in generational wealth stolen. This wasn't accident. This wasn't coincidence. This was policy. And in Durham, that policy had help from every level of authority. The laws, the banks, the schools, even the media. For years, people couldn't prove it because records were sealed. But when archives opened decades later, the truth screamed from every page. The Housing Act of 1949 gave cities federal funds for slum clearance. It never defined what a slum was. Durham's all-white redevelopment commission decided. They called any majority black neighborhood a slum. Federal checks flowed in. The bulldozers followed. The Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 poured $25 billion into the interstate system. 2/3 of all urban routes went straight through black neighborhoods. Department of Transportation memos from 1969 confirmed it. Routes were systematically chosen to remove Negro residents from downtown. The words are theirs, not mine. Durham added its own laws. Ordinance 1958-14 granted the Redevelopment Commission the power to seize land without appeal. Every member white. Every meeting closed. Every case decided before hearings began. Courts rubber-stamped the seizures. Durham County Superior Court approved almost 2,000 condemnations in the 1960s. Not one was denied. Appraisal fraud sealed the theft. The city hired 3 white appraisal firms: Henderson and Associates, Carolina Valuations, Piedmont Appraisers. They all valued Hayti properties 40 to 70% below market. The 6-storied North Carolina Mutual building was worth $500,000. The city said $180,000. The same city whose decisions made the neighborhood decline in the first place. Circular logic. Declare decline, cause decline, then pay less because of decline. Banks joined in. As soon as urban renewal was announced, white banks redlined the area. No new loans. No mortgage refinancing. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's records released in 1990 proved it. Wachovia Bank and First Union labeled all of Hayti high risk. Without loans, businesses couldn't relocate. Homeowners couldn't reinvest. Properties decayed, giving the city even more reason to call them blighted. Insurance companies canceled policies citing impending demolition. Many buildings caught fire before demolition crews arrived. Owners received nothing. Investigations went nowhere. The pattern was too familiar to be coincidence. Durham's own newspapers, the Morning Herald and the Sun, called urban renewal a bold step toward modern progress. They ran glowing editorials praising new roads and never once mentioned black displacement. Their advertising contracts came directly from the City Redevelopment Office. They printed what paid. Even schools joined in the erasure. For decades, Durham children learned that urban renewal improved housing. No mention of Haiti's destruction. No mention of generational wealth stolen. Textbooks called it modernization. Students like you grew up believing highways brought prosperity, not poverty. Churches were pressured too. Pastors who spoke against urban renewal were told their churches sat on condemned land. A few resisted. White Avenue Baptist refused to support the city plans. It was demolished in 1964. Gone. For anyone who protested, the cost was high. 2,000 black residents signed a petition in 1959 demanding that demolition stop. Every city council member voted to proceed. Leaders of the petition lost their jobs. One was arrested on false charges. The Hayti ACP chapter faced threats of losing white donor funding if they continued. The message spread silence or suffer. It took until 2001 for Durham City Council to issue a formal apology. No compensation, no properties returned, just words. Pause for a moment and breathe that in. Over 1,000 homes, 5,000 people, 200 businesses, $1 billion in wealth, all erased. And the people responsible retired comfortably with pensions praised for modernizing the city. Now let's talk about what all that theft created, because theft doesn't disappear. It compounds, it grows interest. It turns into the wealth gap staring our nation in the face right now. Durham today, median white household income, $85,000. Median black household, $38,000. White homeownership, 72%. Black 41. 12,000 registered businesses in Durham. Only 380 black-owned. 70 years ago, there were 600. The number didn't just drop, it was forced down. Think about the math of stolen wealth. In 1960, the average Hayti home was worth $15,000. The city seized it for $5,000, loss of $10,000 per family. That same property today is worth $400,000. That's $395,000 in stolen generational wealth per family. Multiply by 1,000 families. Nearly $400 million gone from a single community. The Shepherd family, descendants of Dr. James Shepherd, owned 8 properties worth $120,000 in the 1960s. For sale total, $42,000. If they still own that land today, the value would exceed $6 million. One family robbed of $6 million. Multiply that by thousands. You see the real number. While black families lost homes, Duke University expanded. 200 acres of former Hayti land bought for $4 million. Today, that property is valued at over $800 million. Durham County gained new government buildings, new tax revenue, new roads. The stolen wealth didn't vanish. It changed hands, and it's still happening. Gentrification is urban renewal under a new name. Since 2010, downtown Durham developers have built luxury apartments where Haiti once stood. Rent $2,000 to $4,000 a month. 70% of new tenants white. Many work for Duke or tech firms. Black residents pushed farther south every year. Property taxes up 300% since 2010. Elders who survived the first destruction are facing it again. Mrs. Alberta Thompson, 83 years old, still lives in the same house her family built in 1952. Her property taxes went from $800 in 2010 to over $4,000 in 2024. Her Social Security check barely covers food. She's facing foreclosure. The system never changed. The tools just look cleaner. Paper instead of bulldozers, but the result's the same. And if you think this stopped with Durham, look around your own city. Type urban renewal and your hometown into a search bar. You'll find records. St. Louis, Richmond, Nashville, Oakland. Everywhere, the same pattern repeats. They say slavery was long ago, but Haiti's destruction happened in your parents' lifetime. Redlining ended only in 1968 in your own. This theft isn't history. It's current ledger entries with interest unpaid. The debt is due. You may be wondering who should pay it. The same entities that profited. The federal government that funded the demolition. The city governments that seized and sold land below value. The universities and corporations that built on that land. The banks and insurers that denied black customers and pocketed the profits. Restitution isn't about guilt. It's about balance. Imagine real reparations. Direct payments to families whose addresses match confiscated properties. Land returns where possible. Free full scholarships to Duke for Haiti descendants. A permanent memorial listing every displaced family. A trust fund for black entrepreneurs in Durham seeded with $1 billion, the amount stolen adjusted for inflation. Some say that's radical. But taking a person's home at 40 cents on the dollar was radical too. Bulldozing churches was radical. Building courthouses on stolen ground was radical. Justice is simply balancing the ledger. Now pause again. Sit with this. This is not just an old story. It's a mirror reflecting our present. Durham's skyline glitters with new development, yet the descendants of its builders struggle to afford an apartment. The wealth that should have lifted black generations now lines university endowments. They lied to you. They told you Haiti declined because of crime. They told you black neighborhoods failed because black people mismanaged them. They said progress required sacrifice, but they never volunteered white neighborhoods for sacrifice, only yours. And despite all that, the spirit of Haiti still breathes. Every time a black entrepreneur opens a business in Durham. Every time a black student graduates from North Carolina Central University, the college Dr. Shepherd built. Every time you learn the truth they tried to bury. That's resurrection. That's history refusing to die. Listen closely, because what comes next isn't about pain anymore. It's about power. They thought they destroyed us when they bulldozed Haiti, but all they really did was bury seeds. And seeds grow back stronger in the cracks of concrete. You're living proof of that. You're the descendant of survivors. The legacy they tried to erase is the reason you're still standing today. They said your grandparents were poor, that they had nothing. But the truth is, they had everything. Faith-skilled community. They built institutions so strong that even after the wrecking balls hit, the memory of them kept living in every black entrepreneur, every black church, every act of defiance that said, "We're still here." You are not a victim of poverty. You are the heir of stolen empires. The system didn't make you poor because you failed. It made you poor because you succeeded too well. They saw a black Wall Street in Durham and it scared them. They saw independent banks, insured families, college graduates, self-built wealth, and they panicked. They called it progress to destroy it because they couldn't stand to compete fairly with you. So stop saying we were broken. We were attacked. Stop saying we were weak. We were targeted. North Carolina Mutual wasn't a dream. It was a model. Mechanics and Farmers Bank wasn't luck. It was strategy. The founders of Haiti understood group economics decades before business schools used that word. They practiced cooperative wealth. They preached ownership. They tithed into their own community. They turned faith into finance without losing their souls. That's the blueprint. And we can still use it. We must use it. When you look around Durham today, see beyond the glass towers. Imagine the foundation under them, the ash of homes that paid for their height. Every time you swipe your card at a business downtown, ask yourself, whose land was this originally? That question isn't anger, it's accountability. Rebuilding Haiti isn't about nostalgia. It's about restitution through creation. When you buy from a black business, you're moving wealth back to its rightful place. When you mentor a young black student, you're teaching another John Merrick to dream. Every act of community support is an act of economic rebellion against theft. Let me ask you something. If they built a multi-million-dollar empire with nothing but willpower after emancipation, what's stopping you now? You have technology, education, networks, access they never had. The difference isn't the opportunity. The difference is awareness. They hid history to hide your potential. If you think you came from poverty, you'll act like you deserve crumbs. But when you realize you come from empire builders, you'll demand thrones. Your DNA carries that memory. The same resilience that survived the Middle Passage flows through you. The same determination that faced Jim Crow and still built banks breathes inside you. The same courage that organized sit-ins, protests, and court cases fuels you. They couldn't kill it because God encoded it. And speaking of God, let's talk about divine purpose. Because this story isn't just political or economic, it's spiritual. There's no way entire communities kept their humanity during centuries of injustice without divine intervention. Only grace explains that. Only God could keep a people singing spirituals while they built a nation that enslaved them. Only God could preserve a truth under 40 years of concrete to be uncovered in your generation. When God brings something buried back to light, it's never random. You hearing this story today isn't accident. It's appointment. Maybe you've been wondering, what's my purpose in all this injustice, all this chaos? Here it is, to be a restorer of broken walls, to finish what your ancestors started, to rebuild the gates of Haiti with knowledge and unity, to fight for justice without losing mercy. Remember Nehemiah, the wall of Jerusalem was torn down. Its people scattered. Enemies mocked them for trying to rebuild, but he kept working with one hand on the wall and one hand on a weapon. That's the image of your generation. One hand building businesses, teaching children, saving money. The other defending truth, confronting policy, demanding reparations, work and weapon, faith and fire. And never forget, restoration isn't just physical, it's mental. The most dangerous demolition wasn't of buildings, it was of belief. The lie that said you're inferior. The lie that said your neighborhoods fail naturally. The lie that said progress means your displacement. Those lies are still in textbooks, media, casual conversations. Erasing them starts here, with you remembering who you are. You are the grandchildren of millionaires. You are the children of builders. You are descendants of kings and queens who worked tobacco by day and prayed by night. You are the legacy of musicians, surgeons, professors, and mothers who turned suffering into song. You are not what this system calls you. Say that again in your spirit. You are not what this system calls you. You are what God declares you to be, fearfully and wonderfully made. A royal priesthood, heirs to a covenant that still stands. That covenant says what's stolen will be restored. The prophet Joel wrote, "I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten." That's not metaphor. That's divine economics. The locusts of racism, the bulldozers of greed, the termites of silence. They devoured your inheritance, but restoration is coming. This awakening across America, people learning what happened in Tulsa, in Rosewood, in Haiti. That's prophecy unfolding. The same government that printed propaganda about slum clearance is now funding reports exploring reparations. The same universities that bought stolen land are commissioning memorials. That's truth shaking the halls of power. And you're part of that. Now let's turn that awakening into action. If this truth hit, you don't let it stop at emotion. Let it move you. Comment the word truth right now wherever you're hearing this. Let the algorithm see we're awake. Hit that like button because engagement keeps truth visible. Share this story with your children, your elders, your pastors, your friends. Someone you know still believes their family's poverty was their own fault. Free them from that lie. We're not just telling stories. We're building movements. Every comment, every share, every conversation pushes this history into the light where lies can't survive. Think about what happened in Minnesota. When enough people cared, they passed reparations for Rondo. What happens when Durham's sons and daughters unite like that? Imagine a petition with 10,000 signatures demanding Haiti restitution. Imagine Duke University setting aside an $800 million restitution fund for displaced families. Imagine Haiti descendants forming a cooperative bank named after John Merrick, financed by community deposits and technology. That's not fantasy. That's possible if awareness becomes action. We can restore Haiti's legacy through modern means. Support Black-owned tech startups. Invest in local real estate funds that prioritize descendants. Attend city council meetings. Refuse to let development plans repeat history. Speak up when they use that coded language again. Revitalization, modernization, public improvement. Ask who benefits, ask who loses, and pray because prayer is power. Every revival in our history began in church basements and prayer circles. Every breakthrough came when people put faith before fear. In the Black church, we've always known this truth. You can't steal something from God's people and expect peace. Justice may sleep, but it never dies. Take a deep breath. You've traveled through a century and a half of buried history. You've seen wealth built stolen and hidden. Now look at where we are. Durham is rising again. You can decide what it rises on, truth or denial. If it's truth, the next generation will inherit more than trauma. They'll inherit identity. Tell your story. Tell your children this is where we came from. Tell them about Haiti's banks, not just its ashes. Tell them about Dr. Shepard John Merrick's Charles Spalding. Tell them the empire under the freeway was built by faith. Tell them progress without justice is just another name for theft. Because education is protection. When they know the story, they recognize the pattern. They'll know that when new projects come, promising progress, to read the fine print, to see the maps, to follow the money, to shout before the bulldozers roll. You've made it this far into the truth. Don't stop now. Subscribe to this channel because there are hundreds more stories like this. Each one a piece of the puzzle they took apart. If you don't, the algorithm buries it again like they buried Haiti. Stay connected. Stay armed with knowledge. After this, do 3 things. 1, research your own city. Type its name plus urban renewal into a search engine. Find the lost neighborhoods. 2, support Black businesses where you live. Keep money circulating in the community. It's a modern protection shield. 3, talk to your elders. Ask them where your family lived before highways came. You might find your own Haiti. This isn't revenge. It's truth and justice. Truth heals. Justice rebuilds. The next step belongs to you. Will you act or let silence pave over history again? Now close your eyes for a moment and join me in prayer. Father God, we thank you for bringing hidden things to light. We thank you for preserving this story through generations of silence. You saw the bulldozers, the fires, the lies. You saw our ancestors' tears, and you kept the truth safe until we were ready to hear it. Today, Lord, we're ready. We lift the names of the builders James Shepard, John Merrick, Charles Spalding, Nathaniel White, and the thousands who labored beside them. Bless their descendants. Restore what was taken. Rekindle what was dimmed. Let justice flow through Durham like a river that washes away deceit. We pray for every city still suffering from the wounds of urban renewal. For Rondo, for Overtown, for Sweet Auburn, for Black Bottom, for unnamed neighborhoods buried under freeways. Breathe life into their descendants. Give them courage to demand and wisdom to rebuild. We ask for integrity from those in Power City officials, universities, developers. Turn their hearts toward restitution. Let them see that healing history heals humanity. We speak restoration over every listener. Restore knowledge, restore confidence, restore land, restore wealth. Let every viewer become a builder again. And finally, God, remind us that justice without love becomes vengeance, but love without justice becomes surrender. Balance us in your purpose. We don't seek revenge, we seek righteousness. In Jesus' matchless name, amen. Walk in truth, demand justice, build wealth, teach the next generation. Remember Haiti, because remembering is resistance. Because every time you speak their names, the ground under those highways trembles a little more. And one day, maybe sooner than you think, their story will rise again, not as ruins, but as revival.